With Robert, we're here at Niagara Falls Boulevard, and this is an every weekend thing, correct?
Correct, every weekend for over a year. One man started it basically in the winter of 25, I think it was. He was here all by himself. He still comes here, and it grew. And now the North Towns Rise Up group on Facebook has over 900 people that have signed up for it. And a loyal 40 or so that show up every week, regardless of the weather, wintertime, rain, snow, you name it, we're here.
And what brings you out specifically? Any cause that you specifically are concerned about?
Yeah, I don't like the direction the country is going. Our rights are being taken away. The government's being destroyed. The government of this country, the way I see it, is they only care about themselves. They care about making money for themselves, and they want to screw everybody else. They don't care how you or I or the average person is. They just want to be in their own little bubble and make as much money as possible, and that's not right. That's not the way this country was built. It was built on immigrants, and they help us out. They offer a lot to our country. They're not all criminals, and it's actually a fact that immigrants, whether they're illegal or illegal, commit less crimes than the average native-born American person. And some of these people, like the people over across the street, you can't convince them of that. They're all criminals, and it's gotten out of hand. I think the big thing is Fox News and Rupert Murdoch. He has basically turned our country away from what it should be.
Okay, and then how do you feel about the latest Supreme Court decision on birthright citizenship?
I agree with it. I was surprised that the Supreme Court went along with it, but it seemed to be a very partisan issue. Of course, Trump's going to do all he can to try to do something to stop it, but it's always been that way. It's in the Constitution that people that are born here have the right to citizenship. And it's just like everything else. They just want to destroy everything. And the way I see it is they want to make it a nation of only white people. There's so much racism that's going on. And people just better get out in November and vote, because that's about the only way we have of stopping this. If we get control of the Senate and the House, we can get a lot done, and we can get this country back to the country that we love and we know that it can be.
Okay, and we're seeing low voter turnout in some of the primaries locally. What do you say to people in my generation specifically who say, well, politics doesn't affect me? You know, I don't really care about politics. What would you say to them?
I think it doesn't affect them because they directly, a lot of them aren't being affected by it themselves. I mean, the way I see it, the movement against this administration has picked up because people have finally realized that their rights are being stepped on. We're having inflation and everything's going in the wrong direction. So they better get involved, because if you don't, we're going to lose this country. And this isn't hyperbole or anything like that. It's really a fact that something terrible is going to happen if we don't get these people out of there.
Okay, and then I see you have a sign, "War will not cover up the Epstein files." What are your thoughts on the war in Iran currently, or the intervention?
I don't think that it was right. It's a violation of the Constitution. They've committed war crimes. We were never attacked, which is one of the things in the Constitution for invoking that. And Iran was not even close to getting a nuclear weapon. Trump tore up the agreement that Obama made, which is completely safe. And he did it because things were getting hot with the Epstein files, and it's a wag the dog thing where he started a war in order to get the emphasis off of what's really going on. And he's not going to get away with it, because people are never going to forget what he did. And some of the people evidently in this administration have done.
Okay, and then do you think it's more important to focus on national issues or local issues, or how do you have that perspective?
I think that the local issues are very important, because everything, a lot of stuff anyway, seems like it's tied together. As far as ICE goes, a lot of people weren't affected by ICE until it comes to your own community. So you have to stay involved with the community because it leads to other things. Just like this big ICE center they want to build in Batavia. A lot of people here are going to be affected by this, and it's happening all over the country. I remember the people in Minneapolis said, people better pay attention because if they don't, before they know it, it's going to be in their backyard, and that's what's going to come.
Okay, and then I think we've seen responses in the rural areas to the data centers, and I think even so many Republicans are also opposed to the data centers. Do you have any thoughts on the data centers at all?
I'm not for them either. For one thing, the amount of electricity that they use is overbearing for the grid. It's never going to sustain that when you have everything else. Opal wants to make appliances all electric. As a matter of fact, I think in new builds they have to be. They're trying to get rid of the gas. And it pollutes. Us being near the water and everything, it's going to pollute the river. I don't think it's a good idea. I agree that maybe it should be held for a delay where it's studied more thoroughly over the next year. Of course, they're going to do all they can do to get them in anyway because it's such a huge industry and there's so much money involved in it. But I think it's a smart thing just to put a hold on it for now and hold them off as long as we can.
And like I said, I think a lot of Republicans also share that view. Do you think that's one issue where Democrats and Republicans, liberals, conservatives can work together to try to find a solution?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, because it's going to affect them too. It's going to affect everybody. All these things start out kind of small, but then they spread like poison ivy. And like I said before, it's just going to affect everybody all over the country. I would like to see more younger people get involved with this, which is kind of disappointing because I'm 74 years old and I'm out here doing this. There's people here older than me, military veterans, and it's the same thing. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Our lives are being destroyed. Healthcare is going down the tubes. Prices are going up. Inflation's going crazy. The oil supply is going way, way down. And it's going to be catastrophe in a few weeks because oil reserve is 320 million barrels now. When it goes down to 240, they got to stop just because of the military, because the military needs 240 million barrels. So everything else is going to go up because your food and inflation hasn't been a huge factor now, but with diesel fuel and everything being delivered by trucks and how stuff gets to the stores, things are going to get a lot worse unless this comes to an end soon.
Well, thank you for your time, Robert, and hopefully we'll get some more people to come out and express their thoughts, and hopefully more people will vote. And that's all we can do is remind people to vote in November, right?
Thank you. And one more thing I want to add is I see a lot of comments online about how we're crazies and stuff like that, which I just laugh at. We really care about America. We want to see America the way it used to be. These crackpots across the street, they have no clue. They just want to destroy everything, and it's ridiculous. So we're out fighting for people who want to keep America the way it is and not change it to a dictatorship.
Well, thanks, Robert. Have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you.